My phone lit up during my lunch break, glowing with the message I didn't expect, yet somehow had been bracing myself for my entire life. It was from my mother. "Don't call or come over. We're done with you. You've caused enough problems." I stared at it, reread it, felt my stomach twist, typed back a simple, "Got it," clicked send, and placed my phone face down on the break room table. In that quiet, sterile room at the rehab clinic where I worked as a physical therapist, I felt something unravel and something else settle. That was the moment I finally stopped contorting myself to fix a family dynamic that had been fractured long before I ever had the language to name it. I'm Olivia. I'm 26. I spend my days helping people rebuild their bodies after injuries, guiding them step by painful step towards strength. Ironically, the hardest recovery I've ever gone through wasn't physical. It was learning to stand on my own after realizing the people who raised me weren't capable of loving me without conditions attached. I'm the youngest of three. My older brothers, Nathan and Eric, were golden boys growing up, praised for everything from passing grades to breathing correctly. I, on the other hand, was labeled dramatic if I cried, disrespectful if I asked questions, ungrateful if I needed space. My mother ruled our home with emotional manipulation disguised as concern. My father was present physically, but absent where it mattered, too conflict avoidant to step in even when things went too far. When I moved out at 22, I thought distance would help. Maybe we could repair things. Maybe boundaries would make things peaceful. But boundaries to my family meant rebellion. Independence meant disloyalty. And any attempt at self-respect made me the villain in a story they were writing without me. In the past few months, I had started saying small but dangerous words like no, not tonight, that doesn't work for me, and I already have plans. Words that, in healthy families, mean normal adult communication. In mine, they were sparks that lit simmering resentment. Midnight calls demanding favors I never agreed to. Emotional tirades about how I'd changed. Accusations that I didn't care if I didn't drop everything instantly. And yet, with all of that, I kept trying, kept showing up for birthdays, dinners, obligations I never felt welcome at but feared skipping. And then came my father's 60th birthday, the event that pulled the string holding everything together. My mother called a few days before, informing me the dinner was at 6 on Saturday. Not asking, informing. I told her gently that I had a coworker's wedding the same evening, one I had committed to months before, but I could stop by for dinner and leave by 6:45. The silence on the line was sharp. "So you're choosing strangers over your own father?" she said, voice icy. I explained again that I would come, spend time, bring a gift, but I had to honor a prior commitment. She replied, "If you leave early, don't bother coming at all." I went anyway. I smiled, made conversation, hugged my father, and pretended not to notice the way my mother practically radiated disapproval. At 6:45, I slipped out quietly. She didn't even look in my direction. The next morning, my brother Nathan called, furious, accusing me of humiliating my mother in front of guests, insisting I should have canceled the wedding because family comes first. When I told him I had stayed for more than an hour, he cut me off and said, "You're selfish. No wonder mom's done with you." He hung up before I could reply. A week later came the text from my mother, cold, final, performative, followed by my quiet removal from the family group chat. I hadn't contributed much to it, but seeing myself deleted like an unwanted contact stung harder than I expected. I texted my father. "Did you know mom removed me from the group chat?" Hours later, he responded, "She's upset. Give her time." I typed back, "I didn't do anything wrong." His reply came quickly this time. "Just apologize. It'll all smooth over." I didn't answer. That was when I accepted something heavy but true. My father would never choose fairness if it meant confronting conflict. A week passed, then another. I started noticing birthday photos on social media. My brother Eric's 29th. A full family gathering. Cousins, aunts, extended relatives, everyone, except me. No invitation, no mention, nothing. When I texted him a simple, "Happy birthday," he responded, Thanks. Mom didn't want drama, so we kept it simple. My chest tightened in a way I was used to, but still unprepared for. Soon after, my mother posted a smiling family photo captioned, "So grateful for my boys and everyone who shows up when it matters." I didn't cry. I didn't text her. I just saved the photo and kept scrolling. But then the messages started. A cousin asking if I was okay because your mom said you've been going through something. An aunt offering support because your mother is so worried. You've been distant and unstable lately. Another cousin saying, "I heard you cut off the family. That must have been hard." I didn't correct them. I didn't defend myself. I let their words sit in a folder I'd been quietly building with the guidance of my therapist. A folder filled with screenshots, voicemails, emails, a record of years of shifting goalposts, guilt trips, last-minute demands, and emotional landmines. At first, the documentation was a way to convince myself I wasn't imagining things. But now, it was clarity, proof. What my family didn't know was that while they were busy rewriting the narrative, I had been rebuilding my life piece by piece. I had recently been offered a promotion with a raise large enough to change everything. I had a cozy apartment I loved coming home to, friends who valued me, and Lucas, someone gentle, grounded, patient, the kind of man who listened without fixing, supported without smothering. He'd seen moments where my family's behavior left me deflated and numb. He'd quietly say things like, "You deserve better," and "You're allowed to protect yourself." He never pushed, but he made space for me to breathe. And Mara, my best friend, my loudest truth teller, didn't sugarcoat anything. "They've treated you like a placeholder they can rearrange. You don't have to keep auditioning for a role you already earned by being born." Weeks passed without a word from me. Silence, as it turned out, was louder than any apology they expected. One afternoon, my father called. "Your mother is really hurt," he began. "She thinks you don't care about us anymore." I took a breath. "Dad, I've cared for years. I've bent over backward trying to keep peace that wasn't mine to keep." He sighed heavily, like he was the one carrying a burden. "She's your mother. You need to respect her." "Respect has to go both ways," I said. He went quiet. "I don't know what you want me to do," he finally admitted. "Nothing," I said. "I just wanted you to see what's happening, but you won't." I ended the call. That night, clarity washed over me like warm water. I wrote an email, not explosive, not emotional, just honest. I told him I had tried for years to maintain a relationship, but the pattern of guilt, exclusion, and disrespect had worn me down. I listed specific incidents respectfully, including being removed from the group chat, being excluded from my brother's birthday, the accusations that I embarrassed them, and the constant expectation that my life should revolve around their needs. I mentioned the times I've helped financially, loans never repaid, emergencies I covered without being asked twice. I ended with, "I'm not asking for an apology. I'm stepping back for my own mental health. If you ever want a relationship with me, it has to be built on mutual respect. Until then, I'm done trying to earn love that should have been unconditional." I sent it. Within an hour, my mother called. I let it ring. Her voicemail dripped with indignation. "How dare you accuse us of mistreatment? We've done nothing but love and support you." Nathan texted, "Grow up. You're being dramatic." Eric didn't respond at all. My father sent a single line. "I wish this had stayed private." I replied only to him. I tried private for years. He never wrote back. A week later, my cousin forwarded me a message my mother had sent to the extended family. "Olivia has chosen to cut herself off from us. We're heartbroken and respecting her decision." I actually laughed. Mara, when she read it, rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd get stuck. She said, "They're spinning the story." I replied, "Let them. I'm not playing anymore." I blocked my mother and brothers on social media, muted my father, but kept his number in case of emergencies. Then I focused on my life, my real life, the one I'd been building quietly in the shadows of their expectations. The promotion came through officially. Lucas took me out to celebrate. Mara brought a cake that said, "To less drama and more joy." I felt light, free, not because I didn't love my family, because I finally loved myself enough to step away. A few months later, my father texted, "Your mother misses you. Maybe we can talk as a family." I replied, "I'm open to a conversation if there's accountability, but I'm not returning to a dynamic where I'm the scapegoat." He never answered. And that, strangely, was closure. Standing in my newly reclaimed life, surrounded by people who actually saw me, I realized something I never had before. Leaving wasn't failure. It was freedom. I spent years trying to earn a place in a family that only valued me when I went silent. Now, I speak.